Good morning. It's Wednesday, September 3, 2014. There are now 10 more quarterly performance reviews on the current program of the Washington-based International Monetary Fund. Welcome to Real Business Live from the office of Jamaica Agricultural Society at 670 East Street, where it is hosting its monthly board meeting, which fittingly includes a tribute to the former Agriculture Minister Roger Clark. During the next hour, we'll be having a conversation on business, finance, and economics. The agricultural sector plays an important role in economic growth and development because it contributes some 13.5% of GDP when value is added and employs some 220,000 persons, or one-fifth of the labor force. The sector also helps to contain inflation because of the impact of food prices on the consumer price index while contributing to food security. We'll tell you more about the sector's contribution to growth and development at the top of the show. Then, under the financial microscope today, the recent drought, which is the longest in modern history, has had a negative impact on the agricultural sector, leading to total crop devastation in some instances and shortages in others. These shortages led to an increase in the inflation rate during the month of July, the fastest pace since September of 2013. We'll tell you what can be done to reduce the negative impact of the drought on the agricultural sector, as well as the agro-processing sector, in the final segment of the show. And in the business information update today, Jamaica's food import bill jumped from just over 600 million in 2004 to 1 billion last year. Food imports account for 15% of total imports, and as a result the country needs to reduce this bill by importing less food in order to supply its hotels, restaurants and households, as well as to improve food security. More on that in the middle of the show. As usual, we'll have our regular market update, so stay tuned. Real Business returns in a moment.
Real business information that will inform your investment decisions today from the Power 106 Business Center.
The agricultural sector is the main driver of growth. It grew by 18.8% during the first quarter of this year and 12.5% during the second quarter, despite the negative impact of the drought. And we now go to the podium to hear the President of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, Senator Norman Washington Grant, as he presides over the current board meeting.
And as we deliberate, we pray and ask that will touch us individually and collectively. Lord, be the center of these deliberations, and we be careful to give you all glory, honor, and praise. These mercies we ask. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. The pleasure is also mine to extend welcome on behalf of the Board of Management of the Jamaica Agricultural Society and our 220,000 farmers across the length and breadth of Jamaica. To this broadcast, I would also like to welcome them as they are listening via Power 106, and like to welcome all the members of the media who is here to cover the event. As we expect it to be a very intense 1.5 hour, other members of the board, they are coming in, and certainly we will be hearing 2 minutes from the members of the board representing different parishes across the length and breadth of Jamaica, and of course also Commodity Association, the 4-H, RADA, the All Island Banana Growers, the cane farmers, direct members, representatives, and other representatives. I would like to welcome here Dr. Thomas, Director General of the FAO, Mrs. Jacqueline Mighty, CEO of COK, Ms. Jacqueline Simpson, Marketing COK, we have 2 Jackies in the house. Mr. Richard Bennett, National Champion Farmer. Ms. Mullins, National Farm Queen for 2014-2015. And of course, our second Vice President, Mr. Johnson, our CEO, the Chairman of the All Island Banana Growers Association, Ms. Greta Sessing, and the CEO of the Jamaica 4-H Club, Mr. Ron Blake, other members of the board of management, members of the media. Welcome to the Jamaica Agricultural Society and to our board meeting. We are particularly at this time paying tribute to the Honorable Roger Clark, late Roger Clark. Roger is a representative of the farmers in Jamaica. He is best described as a complete, dedicated public servant. He was born 70 years ago in Westmoreland. His destiny was obvious from a very early age, as at 9 years old his father took him to a political meeting where he was able to shake the hands of Norman Washington Manley, one of our national heroes. He continued that journey when at 12 years old he and friends walked several miles to listen to the President and former Prime Minister Michael Manley gave one of his address. So that is certainly a synopsis of some of his political involvement. But Roger, to the Jamaica Agricultural Society and the 220,000 farmers, was a champion farmer. He was a champion of many champions, because we categorize the 220,000 farmers in Jamaica who continue to feed the country, who continue to drive economic growth, as champions. And there was one undisputed champion among these champions, and it was Roger Clark. Roger was born in agriculture, grew up in agriculture, and died as a leader of the agricultural sector in Jamaica. At the time of his death, he was working towards two clear and distinct goals and objectives within the sector. This was to put the nation in a position of being food secure. Food security was a fundamental part of his plan. And secondly, to increase the production, to reduce the cost of producing, and certainly was on a mission to work with the JS and the farmers so that the farmers can be more competitive. We can reduce our imports through the Grow What We Eat What We Grow campaign, and to retain the pride of place as for Jamaica to be a leading agricultural exporter in the Caribbean. When I became president of the Jamaica Agricultural Society in 2003, I approached Minister Clark then with the concept that it was time for us to revisit the Eat What We Grow campaign. He was the first person that I approached, and he then took me to the Governor General and the former Prime Minister then. And 10 years after, ladies and gentlemen, we can see the important role that the Eat What We Grow campaign has played in terms of, one, helping the farmers to be more competitive, two, continue to pull down this $1 billion that we are paying for food from overseas, thus supporting foreign farmers. And you know, sometimes you wouldn't even think that Roger had anything to do with the campaign. He was such a humble man. He was such a humble man. But he certainly helped to push that campaign in a big way, and the farmers of Jamaica wants to salute him for his support. The other point is that one of the committed supporters of the Jamaica Agricultural Society was undoubtedly Roger Clark. Because when a lot of people wanted to see the Jamaica Agricultural Society go away, he stood with the JAS. Not only did he give us subvention when he came back to office, but he increased that subvention, and he continued to provide us with critical support, and therefore the Jamaica Agricultural Society salute him. His concern was also with youth unemployment, and it was his belief that agriculture is the answer to this vexing problem in the nation. Hence his unequivocal support to the Jamaica 4-H Club through the years. And he in fact was there to preside over the growth of the 4-H movement. In fact, when he got the 4-H movement under, and he appointed me as chairman, there were 18,000 clubites in Jamaica. And he left the 4-H movement when the clubites has grown to 87,000 clubites and 5,000 leaders. Roger came up through the ranks, and like many others, demonstrated commitment and dedication. He rose from the cane field to cabinet. He attended Manning's High School. He moved through the ranks in the sugar industry, from sugar cane farmer to liaison officer to farm overseer to farm manager to general manager, and he understood all aspects of growing cane. And of course, he attained the highest level in the agricultural sector to be the Minister of Agriculture. His duties at home in his youthful age, I'm advised, included taking care of his parents' livestock, accompany them to their farm where they grew domestic crops. And he was prepared to live a life characterized by working and commitment and dedication. So where did this love for the Jamaica Agricultural Society came from in Roger's heart?
That was Senator Norman Washington Grant, the President of Jamaica Agricultural Society, paying tribute to the work of the former late Agriculture Minister Roger Clark and his contribution to the agricultural sector, which grew by 18.8% during the first quarter of this year and 12.5% during the second quarter, despite the weather-related problems. Welcome back. We're coming to you live from the corporate offices of Jamaica Agricultural Society at 67 East Street, where it is hosting its board meeting and fitting the paying a tribute to Agriculture Minister, the former Agriculture Minister Roger Clark. We're joined by Mrs. Jacqueline Mighty, the Chief Executive Officer of COK South Credit Union, and she'll be telling us about a memorandum of understanding with the JS in relation to pensions. Welcome, Mrs. Mighty.
Morning, Ralston, and to all your listeners. Thanks for having me.
Jamaica has an aging population, and less than 10% of the workforce is in any approved retirement scheme. Tell our listeners a little about this memorandum of understanding with the JS in relation to pensions.
Okay, we at COK recognize that if this country is to really improve the well-being of its society, we must have where persons are saving towards a pension.
Yes.
Because we cannot continue to rely solely on what the government social systems can provide, yes, because that is not adequate.
Not adequate. Far.
So we have been on a drive to ensure that as many of our members across the length and breadth of Jamaica are part of a pension plan.
Yes.
Because we have that facility. Our pension scheme is a retirement scheme. It is one where members who are not in a pension plan in their employment,
yes,
can participate.
Okay.
It facilitates everybody who is not in a pension plan.
Yes.
And it allows you to commence as you can afford.
Okay.
So it is not forcing you to make it impossible for you to live after you put your money in your pension plan.
Yes.
But as much as 20% of your earnings,
yes,
can be put in this pension plan tax-free.
Right.
So what we are going at, the MOU we have with the JS is saying to this very important sector of our economy,
yes, the farmers,
there is an opportunity,
220,000
strong, right?
Yes, yes.
There is an opportunity for you in your to set aside something so that when you get to that age when you can no longer provide for yourself,
yes,
that you have something that can give you confidence of living well.
Right.
Okay, you don't
right.
have to worry about
yes.
How you're going to continue when you can no longer farm and earn for yourself.
Okay.
So this opportunity came about. We are so excited and
yes.
we are happy that the GIS has come on board with us and they are helping us to get to the farmers right across the island,
okay.
so that they can participate.
How will it work?
Okay.
For those who want to participate, how do...
What the memorandum of understanding is one where the GIS is going to take the lead.
Okay.
So they are going to allow us to come to their parish offices across the island,
yes.
meet with all the farmers,
okay.
Sit down, work out for them how much they, based on what they believe is comfortable for them on a monthly basis,
yes.
and so show them what they will be able to have at the time when they get to the time for benefiting from a pension.
Okay.
So we know that the average age of a farmer right now could be upward of 45, 50.
Yeah, 50 yeah.
So we know the lifespan is not very long.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it can be used as to be supplemented
right.
with whatever else they have.
Right.
So we are not ruling out any age group.
Okay.
But what we want to say, there are young farmers, there are
yes.
middle-aged farmers, and there are old farmers.
Yes.
We have a program that can embrace all those groups of farmers.
Okay.
And it is very, very important.
Okay. Will they have to become members of COK?
They will have to participate as members of COK.
So it's also a membership drive.
It is a membership drive.
Potential 220,000
additional. A number of them are already members.
Okay.
But interestingly, when you come onto this pension plan and you're a member of COK, you benefit from all the other wonderful suite of services. All the value-added services that COK offers. And you know how that those are wide and sweet.
When does this become effective?
Well, we are starting off now. For the month of September, we are going on a campaign that is sort of educating them.
Yes.
So we are going to be really kicking off from the beginning of October.
Yes. Okay. Now, tell me, let the farm, how difficult it is to become a member of COK?
Oh, becoming a member of COK is quite easy. Very easy. As long as you meet the bond criteria, which is you either live or work in Kingston, or you're a member of somebody who lives and works in Kingston, or you are a member of the Catholic faith,
yes.
which is not the Roman Catholic, the Christian community.
Yes.
You can participate as a member of COK. You pay a minimum of $2,000 in your permanent share, and you providing your TRN and all those other requirements,
yes.
you can easily join up and become a member of COK.
Okay.
And immediately you can sign on to the pension plan.
And the minimum pension payments is supposed to be something like $500 now.
And we are saying, I mean, that ideally is for the persons who are coming on at age 20.
Right.
If you are older, of course you're going to have to put a little more.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, the government allows a tax-free of 20% of your annual income.
Yes, yes, okay. Now, what's your overall feel about this thing?
I think as a credit union, we are very, very excited about it. Yes. And the energy that we are getting from the JS, especially the president, is overwhelming.
Yes, he's very energetic. Yes.
Very energetic. And because I think as the credit union model so matches with what the Jamaica as a
cooperative.
Right, it's a cooperative, exactly. It is for persons, it's a natural synergy. And we want the members of the JS right across Jamaica to feel free to go wherever you are that you see a COK branch.
It's yours.
It's yours.
Okay.
It's yours. Just go in, talk to us, tell us what you want. But right now, for the month of September, we will be coming across the parish offices to sit with them, to tell them about what it is about, and to invite them to participate.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mrs. Mighty. Very visionary move. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That was Mrs. Jacqueline Mighty, Chief Executive Officer, COK Solidarity Credit Union, telling us about a memorandum of understanding with JS that will facilitate pensions for our farmers, our 220,000 farmers who sometimes are left out. Very, very good and visionary move indeed. In the business information update today, the agricultural sector plays a very important role in economic growth and development, employment creation, as well as in food security. The recent drought has impacted negatively on the sector, leading to an increase in food prices and an acceleration of the inflation rate. We're now joined by the champion farmer Richard Bennett, as well as Mr. Orville Roach, Sales Development Agent at Hypro. And he'll tell us about how we can use effective irrigation measures, fertilizers and pest control to deal with negative impact of the drought on the agricultural sector. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, Ralston.
Morning, Mr. Morning, Orville. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Let's start with you, Richard. How has the drought been treating you?
For the first, it was very bad. very bad where I had to put in other water sources
Yes.
of supplying, which is tanks and the sprinklers,
Yes.
which I never had to do before.
Yes.
So this was my first
Experience.
in a bad drought.
Yes.
And also with the water harvesting, rainwater,
Yes.
that helped out a lot. But then when the rain went,
Yes.
there was nothing much.
Okay.
Sometimes I have to chuck in water.
Yes. Now, how costly was that?
Very expensive.
Yes.
But I had to do it because I already planted the crop.
Yes.
Couldn't let it die.
Yes. Okay. Orville,
Yes, sir.
how can the farmers deal with the negative impact of the drought on their production?
Well, Ralston, as our champion farmer mentioned just now, rainwater harvesting is definitely the best way to go.
Yes.
But also understanding what you're putting onto the soil is very important.
Yes.
When I speak to understanding, I'm talking about conducting a soil test to ensure that you get the maximum use of the fertilizers once it's applied.
Okay.
In addition to that, there are some products that consist of biosolid fertilizers, that's diamond R.
Yes.
What this does is that it stays longer in the soil.
Mm-hmm.
So in comparison to others that are made from urea base,
Yeah.
diamond R is going to stay much longer. And we have that as ISO for the farmers.
Okay. Now, on the pest control side, what can farmers do?
Well, pest control is critical, but what they do find, and in traversing the island, we find that the knowledge content of our farmers need to be improved somewhat, no?
The knowledge content of our farmers
need to be improved.
Yes.
Yes, and I speak to the improvement in technology.
Yes.
And our products. When you look at, for example, the Caribbean region that produces 20,000 pounds of Irish potato to the acre, and compared with Jamaica that's doing 10 to 12,000 pounds,
Right.
you see that there is a gap.
Massive, almost 50% less.
Right. So we have lost some amount due to pest and other things. So one of the many things I found, Ralston, and I saw that coming out of even yesterday I had a meeting in St. Thomas with the Yalat Irrigation Group, and not many farmers use, for example, adjuvants, for example, breakthrough in their practices.
Yes.
Without breakthrough, you have lost roughly 30%
Okay.
of your production and productivity.
Mm-hmm.
What this does, it carries the active ingredient of all the products, whether it be fungicides, insecticides, deeper into the plant.
Yes.
Right, so you maximize the use of the active ingredient in that regard.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Now, Richard, tell me, what have you learned from the drought? How will you be approaching production going forward, given the experience in relation to this year's drought?
Well, putting in more water tanks for rain harvesting, and more irrigation sprinklers. I'm all getting prepared for that.
Okay, prepared for that.
We are looking for the next one.
Okay. Now, Richard spoke, Orville spoke about the need for greater levels of education and the application of technology to agriculture. You're the champion farmer. What's your take on that?
I recommend that at least once every quarter,
Yes.
the JS rather have a meeting with the farmers at the regional office.
Yes.
And educate them. Because he's right, a lot of farmers don't know about fertilizer or insecticide, what this one is for.
Yes.
So they need to educate.
Okay.
And I would recommend having a once every 3 months meeting.
Yes. Where you go through these issues.
And issues.
Okay.
Farmers come in and talk about the problems, what type of insect, and then they can advise them.
Okay. Now, Orville, what role is IPRO playing, or what role will IPRO be willing to continue playing in terms of assisting our farmers with these problems, education, technology, pest control, irrigation, all of those things?
I'm glad that you asked that question. You know why?
Yes.
Because the first thing a farmer sees, or anyone for that matter, when they say IPRO, is feed.
Yes.
But we are not just big on feed. We have a wide range of organic products.
Okay, you're not just about feed.
No, we're not.
Yes.
We have a brand new organic department right now. We are focusing rolling out some new products that are going to be beneficial for the farmers.
Okay.
But putting that aside, we are constantly engaged in training programs. As I mentioned yesterday, we were in St. Thomas. Last week I was with CHF Fund, Canadian Hunger Foundation Fund.
Yes.
What they are doing now is to stimulate the production of Irish potato.
Okay.
And IPRO is right on top of that in terms of rolling out our Irish potato program.
Okay, so you travel around the country and educate the farmers.
Jamaica, definitely.
Okay.
And just adding to that, Ralston, I want to touch back quickly on the whole matter of diamond ore. Reason being, we found that in Jamaica we have some incidents of high pH soil, you know,
yes,
checks when we do our conductor field checks. What we realize is that, one, the farmer needs to know that you must have a good soil test before you start your farming.
Okay.
Two, in addition to that, you must know your pH level. That's going to affect immensely your rate of production or your productivity,
yes,
for that matter.
Okay.
That diamond we have micro essentials that basically reduces soil pH right where it's needed, right at the root of the plant.
Okay.
So, you know, as I mentioned, information.
Very important.
Critical.
Critical
towards success.
Okay. Now, Richard, I mean, you are the champion farmer. What's your advice to young farmers, those who are coming into the business of farming at this particular point in time, if they want to be successful?
Get all the information you can about what you want to do in farming. Yes. Ask questions. Financially, the
yes,
banks are there. Yes, the banks are there to assist you.
Yes.
And you can call me and
okay,
ask any questions you want. But I recommend you do it.
Yes.
Put your head in it.
Okay.
Body and soul.
Yes.
And farm.
Yes.
Because we have a nation to feed.
Yes. And you can make a good living from it if you apply yourself properly.
Right. You can.
Okay. Now, what's the relationship between yourself and, say, iPro? And how...
Well, I buy my... First of all, I'm a chicken farmer.
Yeah.
Main
Your main thing is
chickens.
Yes, yes.
And iPro sells a wide variety of cleaning supplies.
Okay.
When I say cleaning supplies, also protective gears, everything.
Yes, everything that you want.
Yes, you can go to iPro and get it.
Yes.
And I don't do fertilizer, so I never buy fertilizer. I'm organic.
Okay, you're organic. Yes.
But anything else you want, it's there.
Okay. Okay.
We have products for the organic farmer as well, man. We have a product by the name of Keyplex.
Okay.
We're rolling that out.
So you have everything for everybody?
Everybody.
Okay.
You name it, we're right there with you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Ralph.
Yeah, man. Pleasure to have had you both. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that was Alvin Roach, Sales Development Agent, iPro, telling us how to use effective irrigation, fertilizers and pests as well as disease control to deal with negative impact of the drought on the agricultural sector. And we also had Richard Bennett telling us how to cope with the current problems impacting on the agricultural sector, as well as the need for more information on the application of technology if you are going to be a successful farmer. He says you can make a decent living if you apply yourself properly. Welcome back. Welcome to you live from the 67 East Street based offices of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, where it's holding its monthly board meeting and paying tribute to the former Agriculture Minister Roger Clark. The association is also signing a memorandum of understanding with COK Solidarity Credit Union to provide pension coverage for members of the farming community. And we are now joined by 2014 Farm Queen, Tishana Mullins. Morning, Tishana.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Okay, tell our listeners a little about the process of becoming Farm Queen and what it is like being Farm Queen.
Well, to become the National Farm Queen, first of all, you have to enter at the parish level. So each parish has their own competition. The competition involves, unlike most other pageants, doing a technical paper.
Okay.
So you have to actually go through the rigors of putting the research paper together and then do a presentation of the research paper. And then all the other stuff that comes with pageantry, grace, poise, introduction, all that stuff is also encapsulated.
Okay, what is involved in this technical paper?
The technical paper is based on several topic areas that affects the farming sector and affects the environment. So topic, when you have won at the national level and you are advancing at the local level, and you're advancing to the national level, there are 13 topic areas because Kingston and St. Andrew is twinned.
Yes.
And then each girl selects a topic.
Okay.
So it ranges from greenhouse, farming to rural development and agriculture.
Okay. Now, on becoming Farm Queen, how does it feel?
It feels really great, and I work at the St. Thomas Cooperative Credit Union, through which funding is given to some farmers in the agri-parks, and I'm working specifically on IDB-funded projects. project. It is double extending financial services to rural agriculture farmers.
Okay.
So my CEO and the rest of St. Thomas, the persons in the farming fraternity on that side, they are elated.
Okay. Okay, so that's what you'll be focusing on during your tenure?
No, during my tenure, my project is actually dubbed Farming is Sexy.
Okay.
And it has 5 mini projects on it.
Yes.
Sexy in my case is spelled SECSY, meaning S for sustainable, E for economical, C for critical. The next S for sensational, and the Y for youth-oriented.
Okay.
And I chose such a topic because farming is seen as some kind of ancient career that is no longer attractive and feasible for young people. So I want to bring that idea and that color to farming.
Okay. Well, I mean, we want to take this opportunity to wish you all the best and to once again congratulate you on being the National Farm Queen. Keep up the good work, and we want you to get more young people in farming.
Certainly, that's my aim.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thanks much. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure too. That was Tishana Mullins, the 2014 Farm Queen, telling us about the process of getting there and what she'll be doing now that she's there in terms of encouraging more young people to take up the opportunity existing in the agricultural sector. And that's it for Real Business Today, coming to you from the 67 East Street based offices of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, where the society is having its monthly board meeting, paying special tribute to the former Agriculture Minister Roger Clark. They're also signing a memorandum of understanding with COK Society Credit Union, which will result in pension access for many of our farmers. The agricultural sector employs some 220,000 persons, while producing some 13.5% of GDP when value is added. The sector is also important in terms of foreign exchange earning and savings, because the country's food imports now amount to $1 billion US, and we need to reduce those imports in order to reduce the country's current account deficit, which is now standing at somewhere in the region of 9.75% of GDP. The projection is to get it down to about 6.75% of GDP in the next fiscal year. And that's it for Real Business Today. Thanks to our producer, Michelle McRae-Smith, Business Development Executive, Ron Parag, as well as Program Assistant, Adrian Reed. Remember, you can email us your comments at realbusiness@power106-ja.com. That's realbusiness@power106-ja.com. My Facebook page is Real Business on Power 106 FM. Like the page. I would like to tell you that Jay's offices is at 67 Church Street instead of 67 East Street. And that's it for Real Business Today. Thanks to our producer, Michelle McRae-Smith, Program Assistant, Adrian Reed. Remember, you can email us your comments at realbusiness@power106-ja.com. My Facebook page is Real Business on Power 106 FM. Like the page. I'm Ron Hyman. Real Business, a production of the Power 106 Business Center.